Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
Here we go. It is Monday. Welcome to the KVJ After the Show Podcast. Yeah. Yeah. Fun little weekend. Cocktails karaoke went down Friday night.
You were greatly missed, Kevin.
Yes. I'm sorry I missed it. You guys were talking about, you said apparently a lot of shots were going around, huh?
Yeah, there was. I had a very fun time.
Fun little event. Yeah.
I always have a fun time.
Yeah. Shots usually picks it up a little bit, too.
It gets you in the mood to sing.
Gets away from you, though, too. I'm telling you. Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about this. We got a special guest for Drunk Girl Trivia this week.
Who's that?
That's one Virginia Sinicki.
Uh-oh.
Oh, really?
I forgot about that.
Did you? Yeah. It was lively.
She's getting after on Friday, huh?
That poor Uber driver.
He loved it.
Yeah, that's what you remember. That's how you remember it going down.
He loved it. He loved me. He had such a good time.
Until he found out he had to take me all the way to Cuesta. He's like, what? Where are we going? I'm like, oh, yeah, this is just the first stop, dropping off these guys. Now we're going to Cuesta. He was like, whoa.
Yeah, that was he must have thought we were insane.
Yeah, I got an email here. I think this might have been from Friday. It was somebody that was checking out Suits and his girlfriend. And on the photo here, it's Suits and his lovely girlfriend. It says here, I think we all know why Suits pulled this hottie. Old Raptor Hands has a huge dong. His smile says it all. So there you go.
Raptor Hands.
I don't know.
I don't know.
And he sent the lower half of it, and I think he was trying to imply there was some shadowing. It looked like Suits had a big old donger draped in them pants.
I mean, has anybody here seen Suits' dong?
No, it's like Bigfoot. There's only tales of it.
Yeah.
No one's ever seen it.
There's a blurry video that we have.
Yeah. There's some stories.
It scampered off into the woods.
It's scary.
Yeah. That's all we could get.
But nothing confirmed, in fact.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Well, let that storyline play out.
Quite interesting, yeah. So I don't know. There's rumors going around.
A lot of rumors.
Yep. Just one of them. Yeah, I was unable to join you guys on Friday because I had something in the works for a while, planned to go to Okeechobee. I've been invited to go out. There's a place called OK Corral that they have there. It's kind of like a nice little kind of like you go out and shoot. It's like a gun range kind of thing.
Is it a hotel?
It's, I would say probably the best way to put it is kind of more of, I don't know, like maybe a complex kind of thing.
Lodge?
Because what they had is they have cabins, and there's like 2 rooms per cabin.
Okay.
And then there's kind of like a general, store kind of area that they have. And then they did have a restaurant, like at a bar, and you have golf carts. It kind of like takes you around to the different parts of it. It was really amazing. They had kind of like a lodge that was there as well. Okay. But it was nice. It was like if you want to go out there and stay, if you got guns, then you take them out there and you get to shoot them off. They've got different kind of like pistol ranges. And when we were there, they even had a competition going on, people who really take it seriously. And there are a lot of, schools now that have shooting competitions, and you can get a scholarship to go to college and, shoot is kind of what they have. So, yeah, so we stayed there. And one of the things they do, not only do they have the gun range, but they had the clay pigeon shooting, where you say pull and a little like round disc goes flying up in the air, and you take a shotgun, you try to shoot it out of the sky.
Did you hit any?
Oh yeah, I started to get kind of decent. Probably my best run, I went 3 out of 4.
Wow.
And yeah, this is day 2. I started to get it a little bit. Yeah, but it was really fun. And so they have it set up kind of like a golf course, where you go from one station to the next in your golf cart, and then like what you do is you pull up your golf cart, and there's kind of like a little station where you stand there and you put your card in, and then you hit the button, and it'll shoot the clay pigeon things up in the air, but shoots them in different areas, and they come from different angles.
Oh.
And then you can make it a competition, and then you kind of like go back with your shotgun, and they have a thing in the golf cart where, like, normally if you have a regular golf cart, they have where you put the golf bags. Well, this has a thing where you lean your shotgun up in, and then you drive off to the next one, take your shotgun out, put in your shells, and you say pull, and then the thing goes shooting, and you shoot it out of the sky.
3 out of 4 over here.
Oh yeah.
You're quite the marksman.
Yeah, I did okay at that. We did that Friday, and then we did a little bit Saturday afternoon, and then earlier Saturday morning we went out just to like the gun range where you can take whatever, and then you can shoot stuff.
Well, you're a regular Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood?
Clint.
Yeah, I was. I'm the pussy of guns. That I didn't do
That
so
is a
well.
great name.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
I don't want to brag, man, but I did some good stuff this week too. I got a 77 in bowling. So,
You did?
Yeah, we both had some good athletic moments.
Okay. I was a lot less impressive out on the shooting range. I really don't know a lot about guns. You know, my dad is now, and he's always kind of liked guns, but he's really into them now. Like, that's what his thing is. And so, you know, my dad's all into it. So it's a way, you always try to find a way to, you know, bond with your parents. So I was out there just kind of like learning a little bit about the guns.
So your dad will talk to you.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Either you have to do that or you have to dress like a dog for him to talk.
That's basically it, yeah.
Because he's a big dog
He loves
lover.
guns and dogs in that order.
I think it
Son
is now,
about
yeah.
7th on the list.
Yeah.
Kevin's not even on the list.
Yeah. Well, you know, other than that, like, in, you know, college football, that's how Dad and I connected when I was a kid. And I love college football because of my dad. And
He's moved on.
he's
guns.
Does he
not
not
as
watch
into
it?
He does, but he's not as into it as he was, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah, so they used to go to a lot of games and all that kind of stuff, and so now it's my thing. I'm into that, and my son Ken and I, we kind of bond on that.
Boy, man, dude, you look like your dad. You guys,
Yeah.
that's exactly what you're going to look like when you get older.
Thank you.
Well, I think he's a handsome son of a gun. He's got a beard, too. I
He
can
does,
see you with
yeah.
that beard.
Yeah, he got no hair.
Can't you see Can't you see that they look alike?
They do look alike, but I think Kevin looks way different because of the hair.
Yeah, the hair is different,
Yeah,
and yeah.
Don't worry.
So
You're not going to lose it. You're fighting. You're fighting.
I'll
meant-
put up a good fight for you.
I meant just the face, nothing about the hair. You guys,
Yeah.
well, shit, he's your fucking dad.
Yeah, you're right. You can
But
tell.
that tends to happen.
Yeah. So that's kind of the way it goes when you have children. Yeah, they kind of look like you. So yeah,
Exactly.
that's kind of our way to connect. But yeah, we went out on Saturday and got to shoot. And so for me, just kind of like learning about the guns, because I'm very inquisitive now, because I don't know a lot about it, and I want to know more about it, because I mean it's such a big topic in our culture, you know, that is going on today. And so to me, I like to be able to have some knowledge and get an understanding and be with people that are gun people to find out, okay, what gets them charged up about it? What's the whole thing about it? And it's interesting because to me, I was kind of like with Jay Brown, scared to death. Like I'm up there. I mean, I'm handling. You know, I am
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood. You know, and you could. It was so obvious. I do not know my way around guns. You know, and the guy that we were out there with, he knew stuff, and you can just kind of like, you could see a guy that's familiar, like with anything.
Well, he doesn't have a clit. He's got a penis.
Right. He's like a man.
He's a man.
He's a man.
He's
and
got a hog.
He just
Yeah.
takes these things. It's like ching, 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 and this, and pulls this thing back, and it's like boom, and there you go. And I'm like, Tim, like it's like I'm about to touch a viper. You know, I'm just yeah, and just trying to hold this thing. And so I mean, this guy had a whole array of I mean everything. And so I just for the perspective of it, I wanted to shoot everything that was there so that I kind of knew and had an idea of what it was. So he had these, you hear the Glocks a lot. It seems like everybody carries the Glock.
Okay, I hear that in rap songs.
It's like a big gangbanger type gun. Yeah, it's like
Okay.
I think an Austrian made gun, and oh my gosh, it's super loud. So the one thing you do when you go shooting, they say you got to have your ears on, your ears and your eyes. So you got to have on like protective goggles, and you got to have on, it is so loud. I had ear things in, and there was some guy right next to me fired off a Glock, and like my ears immediately started ringing. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, because I didn't have at that time that you need to have ear things in and those kind of like noise canceling headphones at the same time.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't, so that was a little bit rough.
It's kind of a dick move of that guy to fire it off.
No, I mean, he's at the range. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing.
How dare him.
I mean, he didn't look over and see you don't have your ear protection on.
Well, I did, but it just wasn't enough. I had like the little feeble things that you barely, put in your ears. But yeah, I went through and shot, everything that they had, and including he had one of those AR-15s.
Oh.
Yeah, and I just, for perspective, just wanted to see what that was like, and it is a powerful weapon. And so I got a really interesting appreciation, and then got to see people that were gun enthusiasts and try to understand, okay, where they're coming from and what their thought is. And a lot of them is like, they just want to blow stuff up. But I was, really interested to find out. And they do target practice, and to them it's a sport and it's a stress reliever, and those are the things and that's why they like guns. So I got a good understanding of people that are gun people, why they do it. But then I was asking, like, going, okay, well, how do you secure them? Because, that's the problem that you often hear in a lot of these stories. Somebody gets the gun that shouldn't have the gun. And that's it. And the guy that I was with, he has a gun safe that's like locked into the floor, and you got to have like fingerprint, all this kind of stuff. And this is a guy that understands, respects weapons, and I think has the right attitude with it. I think too often people are able to get guns and they have them laying around a house, Virginia, and they're not locked up and they're not properly put away. And
just
then
randomly in your purse. Like,
yeah,
what? Oh.
Yeah, they wind up in the wrong hands, and that's why we've got the continual problems, that we keep getting. So, but it was educational. It was interesting, and yeah, that place OK Corral was very fascinating. So they get like a lot of retreats, and businesses will come up and they'll kind of like make a whole thing of it, because for a lot of people it is a sport.
The actual story of the OK Corral, the real story, is fascinating.
Yeah, that was
Wyatt Earp and the Clanton and the McClawleys, and it was really Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
See what happened, Virginia? No, I'm just
But, like you talked about, I'd mentioned, because what they do is kind of cool, because, you got the cabins and they have a bar and all that kind of stuff, but everybody who's there, very serious about guns. Like, the worst thing you would ever do is see someone even think about having a drink and then going out there with a gun. Like, that just is, the two do not mix.
Good.
So you don't even think about having a drink until your shooting's done. And at the end of the night, when all the guns are locked up and put away, then you'd go have your drink, and they set up a bonfire, and, you kind of sit around that, and somebody inevitably brings out country music.
They do man things. They all measure their big, fat dicks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird because, for me
that
to try
one
to
guy, he actually shoots his gun with his dick.
15-incher, Virginia.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting to see all that kind of stuff. And then some people had out their, I don't know what they were. They're kind of like they're dirt bikes and they're quad runnery type things, and just
man macho shit.
Man redneck toys, basically is it. I don't know what it is, but when I grew up, rednecks love big machinery type toys. They like dirt bikes, they like
dirty,
and
everything I hate.
It all scares me.
Me too.
Oh man,
I'm very startled by
the time you took me to the gun range, I'm still fucking quivering over here.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood and his twin.
Oh yeah,
we are all clitting it up in here because none of us are really into like loud, aggressive, bang, bang. Oh.
Yeah, it is. It's very testosterone and very charged. But I got an interest. It was educational, to just kind of like see and get that side and that perspective of it. And so when people challenge them on their guns and their rights, are saying, look, I'm doing it the right way. Don't tell me what to do. And so that's, in essence, what it boils down to.
Gotcha.
In our fight in Texas. I was reading some of the stories with the school shooting that happened there on Friday, and it was an interesting tone. If you read some of the stories, there was a woman that was there. She had lost her son in a shooting like 6 years ago, in a school shooting, and so she goes around to all of them now and protesting. And she was saying it was so weird because she was at Stoneman Douglas. She said, I was joined by hundreds of people that were there with me, and she said when she was in Texas, she was the only one there.
Really?
Yeah. She said it was very interesting because they have a much different attitude
about gun control.
And about guns in Texas. And so that shows you, we here in South Florida have got a much different take on it. And,
if you're anti-gun in Texas, you got a way bigger fight.
Yeah. That would be one of the, if you had to say what would be one of the toughest states to put any kind of gun control laws on the books.
I believe
that
it.
would be one of your premier states.
I told you that one story about that kid. He was his karate instructor. I think the kid was like 11 years old. The karate instructor was molesting the kid, and the instructor got arrested, and he was walking up for his trial, and the dad was waiting for him by the telephone and blew him away and killed him. And everyone in Texas was like, yeah, Dad can walk. Nothing bad happened here. He blew that guy away, and the guy didn't get in trouble for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That to me is justice, though. If someone's molesting your kid, I think as a parent, we all want to do that.
Look up that story. It's a real story.
Was it before the guy had the trial or after he was convicted?
Before.
It was before they knew he had done it, but he was walking up to he was in handcuffs, and it was in the court, like to the courtroom.
Here comes your due process.
The dad was waiting for him,
Wow.
shot him, killed him, and he did not go to jail for it.
There is such a difference, a wide spectrum
Yeah.
in this country. And that to me is just as I talk to more people on either side of it.
But something like that, though, if you read every comment, every comment was like, good, bye, see ya, should have killed, should not have gotten. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, you touched my kid. Good luck. It's going to be the same outcome.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've never been through something like that, you might not know how you'd handle that. But imagine your loved one.
Imagine.
If someone does the worst thing possible. I don't know how anyone. I mean, I don't think anyone knows how they would react.
No, it'd be very tough. I just obviously I think with anything in this country that you got to let due process take its course.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and not say I'd even then condone blowing anybody away, but you know.
Let's just say a lot of people didn't have sympathy for the molester.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
yeah.
I grew up in an area that, had Texas-like, sensibilities, and I'm sure that pretty much everybody in my hometown, the same situation, be like going, good riddance. So, mosquitoes, that's definitely something. And I know Okeechobee's got them. The thing I always forgot about, it's love bug season too. Oh my gosh, they have love bugs all over the place in Okeechobee. You forget, like, when
Got to get them off your car quick, or they'll mess it up.
Yeah, you forget when you're on the coast or you're like in, where it's big population, you don't have them. But as soon as you get into the middle of the state anywhere, those things are all over the place.
Are love bugs the one that when they land on you, it's supposed to be good luck?
That's a ladybug.
Ladybug.
Yeah, these are the ones that fly. I mean, they're like just flying everywhere doing it. Yeah, and in the month of May is when, so when you're driving through there, you will have hundreds. Not just a few, like you'll have hundreds all over your vehicle.
It's kind of gross.
And they're flying out and they'll land all over you when you're out there. You're like, ugh. So I think I was distracted by the love bugs or the love bugs, and then I didn't pay attention to the mosquitoes. So I got bit up. Somebody said they really go after O positive. I can't remember I think I'm B something blood type.
Good, that sweet blood.
They said, I think
I'm
your
B
blood
positive. They go after that.
Okay, yeah. So that might be what I am. So they said your blood type affects it.
Jaybird's O. Do they go after you?
I do not get bad mosquito. It's the piss ants that get me. An ant they'll find me anywhere I go and they'll bite me.
Oh my gosh, they have the biggest fire ants in Okeechobee too.
That's the ones you got to watch out for. The fire ants.
Oh, I saw this one. I thought it was a squirrel.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I could not believe how big this damn thing was.
Growing up in Louisiana, we had those big fire ants, and one time I knew a kid that fell in a fire ant pile. No lie, this kid got jacked up.
I fell into a wasp nest as a kid, and it fucked me up, man.
That's horrible.
Yeah, so mosquitoes, definitely something to pay attention to. We'll get those soon enough. With all this rain we're having.
Oh, yeah. It's already getting muggy out. You can feel the shitty weather coming.
Good time to talk about mosquitoes. A little handy hint. Somebody said put dryer sheets in your pockets and hang them out of your socks. No more mosquitoes.
Dryer sheets worked really well at Magnolia's party for flies. Maybe they work for mosquitoes, too. I'm willing to try it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there you go.
Dryer sheets just make you smell good, too.
Yeah, for a couple times, like I was telling Virginia earlier, like I always forget I have to go get sunburnt the first time when it starts to become summer again, so I forget. And then I have to get destroyed by mosquitoes before I'm like going, okay, remember to bring mosquito. It happens every year, I forget.
But mosquito repellent is gross and it smells bad. And when you put it on you, it's like greasy.
It doesn't work either, by the way.
If you could just do a dryer sheet and get rid of the mosquitoes, I would make some pants out of dryer sheets.
I use that off stuff. I swear that is the only time. They should have changed it to on because I felt
they
like
loved it.
Yeah, they did.
To them, it's like butter.
It did not work.
They're licking it up.
Comment here about the call about the pregnancy test we got earlier. Just a little bit of a note to the mom from Orlando we talked to. Just to let you know, a lot of the time a pregnancy test comes up positive after if it sat there for a while when it was originally negative.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I did not know that either. So she was freaking out because she found a pregnancy test that was positive in her daughter's trash can inside a McDonald's bag. So that could have been initially a negative test. But she didn't even know her daughter was having sex. So there's obviously conversations that got to happen.
Yeah, a lot of shock there.
Let me see. It says, my husband and I are seeing a fertility doctor, and I learned this morning that the sperm he ejaculates today was actually created 3 months ago. I'm a nurse, and I never had any clue about that. Have a great weekend.
Wait, say that again?
That when your spooge comes out, it's actually 3 months old already. It's not like you just made it fresh.
Unlike the stars, when you see the stars, you're in the future. Weird, interesting stuff.
Unlike the stars, you're in the future.
Well, when you look at the stars, it's from or the past. Never mind, I fucked it up.
Oh, he punted.
Well, I heard it. I was like, wait, what?
Well, I was half reading something and I half heard Kevin. That's why you got to pay attention. Hey, what are we talking about?
What? You see the stars, you're looking at the future?
I'm so sorry.
When I see stars, I'm in the future. Okay.
Ramblings of a madman.
Like, all righty then.
That's crazy about the sperm, though.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, it takes a little while to bake, and then so the stuff that you got there, it's made a while ago.
How long? Let's say you ejaculated and sperm was out, and then someone took the sperm and they put it in their vagina like days later. Mm-hmm. Does the sperm have a expiration date to where it's not potent anymore? Or
yeah, you can read on the side of your penis and it'll show you.
Well, could you get someone pregnant from six-month-old sperm?
I think what it is you've got to
not 6 months.
Maintain it a certain way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I was watching because I know when I did the IVF stuff, like you jizz in a cup and you walk it to the other side of the thing and then they deal with it right there. And I was watching Veep, and they had a couple episodes where he was taking his cooler. He had a lunch cooler. And so he was in the bathroom and had an awkward conversation. And they're like going, look, if you're going to bring your jizz box to work, you got to, so nobody wanted to be around it, because here he was at lunch with, a cup of his sperm in there.
It'd be funny to go in that little room where you're supposed to jizz in the cup and like put mayonnaise in a cup. And then when you're walking out, do one of those fake trips where you just fall, but then you spill it everywhere.
Oh, people would be horrified.
Oh, my God.
I don't even know if that's a cool joke or not, man.
I'd be so
funny.
Yeah,
if somebody's husband's there, you can get your ass kicked.
I'd be so bummed out if I got some random person's sperm on me. Gosh, I'd be bummed out.
But then tell them it's mayonnaise. Ha ha ha.
Then I'm hungry.
Or walk through the lobby and just take a drink from it.
Oh.
Just see the reaction on their face.
Tastes fresh.
Freshly
Oh,
squeezed.
it's still warm.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of grossing me out right now.
Elena's got some information about potty training. Said, I had the same problem with my son as you're having with Rocco. I got advice from his daycare to train him in one weekend. You have to stay home, and every 20 minutes you ask him, do you need to go to the bathroom? By the end of the weekend, my son was so mad at me for asking so much, but it worked. He was trained, and he only had a couple accidents after that. The only thing I missed is after you potty train and you go to the store, you must make him go to the bathroom before you leave the house. We went to a store, and he peed his pants in the middle of the store. We ran and got the hell out, but I learned my lesson.
Ah.
So how long does he go through this for with the whole potty thing?
I think if you do it really intense, like they're saying, do it for a whole weekend, you can get it done. But we never have a whole weekend.
I was working on a little song for Rocco.
Oh, good.
That maybe we can do that because he seems like he would like something like that.
Oh, he would love a song.
And maybe that would get him excited to go.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Ashley said, I'm about a week behind on the podcast, but I had some potty training advice. My twins are about 3 months older than Rocco, so I get the struggle. I got one boy and one girl, and I potty trained them both in 3 days back in October. I read a book, How to Potty Train in 3 Days, but the gist is you have someone with the kids for 3 days. You literally don't leave the house, and you do nothing but put them on the potty every 15 minutes. For the first 2 days, you leave them with no pants, and by the third day, you put underwear on them. It sounds awful to be stuck in the house that long, and it sort of was, but the final benefit was fantastic. It worked like a charm, and we haven't had an accident in months.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just don't know when I'm going to have 3 days not to leave the house.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it's the weather. I know we've had some stuff that got canceled.
Maybe I'll get pink eye again.
Oh, man. I'm going to use that excuse to get out of one of our events I don't want to go to.
Marie sent this, commenting about how depressing was your grandma's life.
Oh, okay. Maybe some competition?
Yes.
Let's see what she's got.
She said, this bit must not quit. I mean, Grandma's pain is real. I'm not sad for Granny, but your commentary on it is great. Everyone in the 20s had the rickets and shingles. I need this bit in my life. I'm laughing, but not at Granny. So
that was a fun bit. That music you were playing is so heartbreaking.
It is.
What is that? That's famous, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember where we got it exactly, but yeah, it's just your typical song of sadness.
It's just like
that's from a cartoon.
It does.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like an old Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, it's got like that kind of whole.
Oh, that's so good.
Vibe. Yeah.
So good.
Mm-hmm. Got this story about trouble on a cruise. Getting basically right to it. She was on a cruise, third cruise off the West Coast to celebrate her anniversary, her and her husband. He sat at the bar, got completely hammered. She was completely sober. She was annoyed, so she went back to the room without him. And then she got a call over the loudspeaker, and they said, yes, you might want to come check your husband. She said, by the time I got to him, he's laying face down, handcuffed. 3 security guys were on top of him. My husband was not complying. He was angry and yelling. His PTSD and alcohol were a bad combination.
Oh.
Security forced him into a wheelchair, brought him back to our cabin while the other passengers cheered and applauded his departure. It never occurred to me that I should record any of this because at the time I was mad at my husband and wanted to immediately forget this mortification. When we got to our cabin, there were many crew members with us at that point. They decided to tilt the wheelchair forward, dumping my husband face first onto the floor of our room. Then they immediately dogpiled on top of him as he was still struggling and angry. When the crew started to say that they would just leave him there, I freaked out. I said, don't you have a jail or a room to lock him in? No, they said, we can't do that. Well, can I stay in a different room, I begged. They said, no, the ship is booked full. When my husband showed no signs of calming down, even after vomiting, the crew called the ship's doctor. He sedated my husband, then called him to medical. Once they settled me in a different room because of the vomit, I was called down to medical. The doctor very nonchalantly explained that they needed to give him oxygen, then asked me to fill out a medical history form. I didn't ask why. I was still in shock over it all. What the doctor did not tell me is that it's extremely dangerous to sedate an intoxicated person. My husband's lungs stopped working because of the sedative, and that's why they gave him oxygen. He almost died because of the numerous drugs they gave him.
Oh, my gosh.
At least 2 of those drugs were medically unnecessary and caused terrible side effects. The next day, they released him, and we were both banned from the cruise line for life. I asked security for footage from that night because I was curious how things had escalated so badly, but they refused. This all occurred 5 months ago, and my husband still has nerve damage from the handcuffs. It is most likely to be permanent. I called the cruise line's customer service when we got home to complain about the horrible doctor, the overuse of drugs administered, and the nerve damage from prolonged and tight handcuffs. By the way, police officers are trained in how to use them. Customer service told me that there was nothing they could do. So she said, I basically said, what you're telling me is what happens on the ship stays on the ship. The woman stuttered and stammered and finally said, I'm just telling you what my manager told me. Because yes, happens on international water. So if you want to do anything legally, you have to contact the FBI.
And it is really tough because I had a girlfriend of mine have trouble on a cruise ship. They don't care and they stick by each other. Mm-hmm. And good luck.
She said this event opened my eyes to the corruption and the dangers of a cruise vacation. We did intense research to see if there was anything else we could do. There are numerous reports of rape by crew members on female passengers and other crimes that go unpunished because cruise ships are literally lawless. Our cruise line in particular had the most criminal reports. We had no idea until afterwards. I know it's possible to have a fun time on a cruise. Majority of people do. We ourselves used to love it too. We're never going to go on another one again for us personally. It's from one of our West Coast listeners.
You're West Coast?
Yeah. Yeah, I think probably, the most dangerous thing about a cruise ship, and I get it, I'm going to try to watch myself. I'm going one on February, and I think when people get on it, they're just like, it's lawless, and they're like going, I'm going to act lawless. I'm going to go on there and just get completely housed, and I can stumble to my cabin, and So I think they really let their guard down. And that's the one thing about drinking, too, that I know from my years of doing it, is that there are people who are seasoned drunks and do it well, and they can drink like all night, and you're just like amazed because they still seem like they're sober even after an entire night of drinking, and those are like the true professionals. And then you've got a majority of people that get really hammered, act a fool because they don't do it very often. And so their body and their mentality is doing something that is completely foreign to what they're used to doing.
We call those people rookies.
Yeah, and I think probably, you see it on New Year's, you see it at Mardi Gras, you see it
St. Patty's Day.
St. Patty's Day, and then cruise ships, I
Yeah.
would think, are pretty much the same. And so that's, a note I'm going to try to tell myself, be like, hey, man, don't get too out of control.
Who's more out of control when they drink, Virginia or Bird?
Probably Virginia because she punches people.
Good point.
Yeah.
Okay, you win.
Yeah, you get punched. She actually punches.
And I think that's a draw.
That's a big difference. No, because you're not inflicting any damage. You're just taking damage. Yes.
You're funny though. Like you'll lay down under a DJ booth and take a nap in the club.
Oh, I haven't done that. That was from 06,
But it's a
man.
great story.
I got called into an office for that one.
You don't like when you nap at
It was our old boss, Chris Marino, called me and so Jason, what happened on Saturday?
That's amazing. He took off his shoes, crawled under the DJ booth, and took a nap.
I was tired.
It's amazing.
Well, they had me out there from midnight to 2.
That is
yeah.
a long time.
I'll let it go.
Midnight to 2.
Yeah, that was back in the day when we did those late gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Back before we were old.
That's why I think I accidentally slipped and said old.
Midnight to 2.
That was when I first got on the show, you did a gig. I think at Club Safari, it was either midnight to 2 or 11:30 to 1:30, and you hated it.
Yeah. I finally got to the point where it's like, I used to do those.
I think it was Club Safari.
Might have been. Yeah, I did Club Safari, and I used to do Monkey Club back in the day. They were at least 10 to midnight at the earliest, and I think I had that moved because it was like it used to be 11 to 1, and then I was like, guys, I can't do past midnight.
11 to 1. Just say that. Can you imagine a remote that starts at 11 p.m.?
Well, you're not getting home in bed till 2:30.
Yeah, when I was in my 20s, I still did the 11 to 1. I think after 30. And I'd already been doing it for when you hit about the 10-year mark of just
what
being
am
in
I
the
doing?
clubs all the time and just like, I'm so over this.
How many years did I put on my life? Extra
Yeah.
mileage.
Yeah,
Right.
Monkey Club took away 5 years of your life easily.
And then I think it was after 35, I was like, all right, I'm not doing the past 10 o'clock anymore. That's crazy.
And there was always some drama, too. It wasn't just come in at 11, leave at 1, everything's going to be cool. I remember you had to go upstairs at Monkey Club to get paid, and it was always a big fight, and it was just,
Yeah, that's right. You did. I forgot
Get me
about that.
the
Yeah.
fuck out of this fucking place. Now I got to go beg this clown to get paid?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no. Fucking Monkey Club. You can suck it. Ugh.
Remember that? Yeah.
No thanks. I would never want to go back to those days.
So how do you feel?
Leslie, a couple topics on Netflix, pros and cons of Netflix. I recommend the Netflix original series 7 Seconds. It's an engaging story told in 10 episodes about a group of dirty cops in Jersey who attempt to cover up a hit and run by one of their own. Great character development. Also an FYI on using a Fire Stick. My 80-year-old mother has used one for a couple of years, so I think y'all could figure it out.
Totally.
She has basic cable and the Fire Stick for her TV viewing. There you go.
I think setting it up might be the issue, but once it's set up, it's pretty easy to use.
Yeah. Said also, I was doing some spring cleaning and listening to the podcast during your debate regarding whether to keep the birthday shout-outs. Lo and behold, I heard my very own birthday shout-out from my beautiful daughter, Garland.
Aww.
Put a smile on my face and lifted my spirits, so keep it up. I also heard you mention tacos and the Coyo Taco in Miami. Did you know that they opened one in Royal Poinciana Plaza in Palm Beach? It's on the corner of Coconut and Royal Poinciana at the foot of the bridge. The Food is delicious and cocktails were good and strong.
Wow, it's over on Palm Beach Island.
Yes, it is.
That's a fancy taco.
I didn't know they did. I thought they had like a ban on chains, like you couldn't do chain restaurants. On
I
the
thought they
island.
did too. And if you do a chain, you have to call it something else.
Yeah, that's why I like Palm Beach Grills, Houston's.
Right.
Really? Yeah, that's really
it's just a Houston's, but no, they call it Palm Beach Grill.
Mm-hmm. And Kevin, I started using the Fit Food Fresh service, and my husband and I love it. Another bonus is they give discounts to teachers. I'm a retired teacher, and they still give me a discount. The meals are $9 with a discount, so well worth it. So
Oh, that is a good discount then.
What were you eating today? Is that from the place you're eating today?
That's Fit Food Fresh.
That was a very, very hearty-looking sandwich.
It was hearty.
Yeah, it's a tuna salad croissant.
I'm surprised you'd go down the old croissant road.
It was it was a thick
It was
bitch.
It was a grain croissant. Yeah, it was like 400 calories.
She was a big girl.
That's it. That's all it was.
Yeah, yeah. They make the stuff fit food and it's fresh.
Little
The name says it all.
400 calories. Bitch, weak.
Another Netflix recommendation. A show called Evil Genius. It's a documentary series, like 5 episodes. It's about a bank robbery where the guy is strapped with a live bomb to his neck, almost like a Saw movie. It
Oh
has
my
a crazy
gosh.
twist, and I feel like he would love it. So, Jay Bird, watch that. It's a recommendation for you. Watch the trailer for it, and you'll be hooked. That's for Evil Genius.
Yeah, my dad really loves watching those murder specials, and I kind of get sucked into them, too. They do them so good.
They do, but then you're gonna have night terrors.
Oh, without a doubt.
Don't watch them before you go to bed, Bird.
I try not to, but they are fascinating.
I know.
You watch some of them, too.
I do too. Well, when I was pregnant, here's what I did because I wanted to put myself on like this high alert. So if anybody got froggy, I felt like those shows made me more paranoid, and I wanted to be more paranoid to protect the baby. It was a weird little psychosis when I was pregnant. So all I watched was like Dateline, 48 Hours.
Yeah.
Snapped,
So,
all those shows.
I realize, though, I like those specials when there's a resolution. I don't like watching the cold case stuff. It bums me. I get mad. I'm mad at the end of the special because the
You
human.
want to know why?
Well,
Who?
Well, because the human brain wants an ending, and they're still missing, and you're like, "Fuck this, man! This is terrible."
I agree.
Got this email from Chelsea, listening from Orlando. Said, hey, I was screaming Privates of the Caribbean and Star Whores.
Ooh,
when you guys were talking
Privates.
about make a movie dirty.
Love
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are good ones.
Walking my dog, listen to the ATSP. I didn't see the woman walking her dog. I think she's afraid of me now. Let me see here. Got this email from Oscar. Said, hey, guys, big fan of the show. Been listening since the 95.5 days when I actually would listen to pop music. Now that I'm older, I'd love it if you guys would go all talk. Can't stand the music nowadays. The reason for my email is that I remember when Jason joined the show, but I don't remember you guys ever talking about how you, Kevin, and Virginia hooked up. If you guys have ever talked about it, I have missed it. Curious to know if it was a corporate hookup or did you guys put this thing together? It's a match made in heaven. You guys have so much chemistry, and I remember when I hated Jason because I thought he was trying so hard, but now he actually makes me laugh and gets me through the day. All of you guys do. Thank you, Oscar and Felshmere. Felshmere. Yeah, it was. It was something where I got the job at Wild, and then got to put together my own crew, which honestly I feel is the way to do it.
Absolutely. When they try to
Yes.
force people together because some guy in a suit thinks that, oh, you two will sound great together, that shit never works.
And usually the guy in the suit has never done a day of radio
Right.
in their life.
And he's a really poor judge of character.
The biggest thing is so many people have different senses of humor and different styles. And the biggest thing is really getting on the same page where you've got kind of the same sense of humor. Because if you don't, things that make one person on the show laugh won't make the other person laugh.
Right.
And then it just comes off as awkward.
I think the sense of humor is very important. I think you can have different types of people because I think we all are different
Yes.
types of people. But you're right. Our sense of humor is very similar. I think that is very important.
And you know how when you meet somebody and you're like talking to them, you know pretty soon, you know, like, do I like this person or not?
Yeah.
Like, you have to genuinely like each other to make this click. And I think sometimes suits put people together and the people don't even click. They wouldn't be friends otherwise. And you can tell when you listen.
I've been on all different kinds of shows where they've been put together and whatnot. And yeah, the thing is, and I had learned a valuable lesson in where I was before, where it was one situation of slapping people together after another. I'm like, you got to have one person with a vision that has it and then let him put together his crew. And so luckily they gave me the luxury to do that and got Virginia, and we talked extensively, as we were kind of like doing that. I'm like, okay, we kind of find the same things funny and got the same vision.
It was kind of weird how it happened because at the same exact time that they offered Kevin the job in Florida, I mouthed off to management in Mississippi and got fired. So
It's good timing, yeah.
I mean, it's exactly the same time.
Right.
And I had been going around interviewing. So I had gone up to New York and done an interview. I had gone to New Orleans and done an interview. And then I was talking to Kevin on the phone, kind of doing interview style with him too. And so I was really trying to decide. I'm like, do I go to New York? I don't really think that's going to be a good move. Do I go to New Orleans? That's going to be an easy move. But I didn't like the dick they wanted to pair me up with. He was a moron.
Right.
And so I was like, all right, I think I'm going with Kev. I connect with him.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't even pay to have me come here and meet you.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
They wouldn't pay.
Well, then if I was so cheap, they wouldn't even fly me in to do a meet. It was
Yeah.
just you're coming or not.
Yeah, that was it.
I was like, I guess I'm coming.
And then Jaybird, we did a contest and just got lucky and found somebody else, and we're like, yeah, this guy clicks. He's
It was like a local talent search.
Yeah.
He was a shining star on the first day. Everyone else paled in comparison.
That star's faded out.
So yes, that's how it ultimately started. But yeah, that without a doubt, there's no way you could. I mean, yeah, you could get lucky.
You could.
With having somebody, piece them together, and that would be also too, knowing that you have a very astute person that's running the station and the show, whatever it is,
knows the talent,
right, and
very intimately.
gets what kind of personalities are going to work together. So, but that's not often what happens.
Usually, a guy in a suit does not know.
No,
Unless, guys in suits know about certain things. Just, I don't know
Only
about
guy
that.
in a suit I like is Suits.
I agree with you.
So there you go. Any questions for the show, you can always send us an email, and we'll get to it. Appreciate it. Always good hearing from you. Mail@kvjshow.com, mail@kvjshow.com. That's it for us. We'll talk to y'all later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.